FNCS Global Championships are less than a month away, and already every single trio competing in it has claimed their drop spot for Globals. And in today's video, I want to go over the current entire drop map, including just a bunch of the new stuff in the brand new season, including what the best POIs are, where all the new medallions are at, and so much more. We're going to see you start still. Please subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, as we try our best to upload daily competitive content for you guys. If you guys want to support me even more, especially when buying the brand new season battle pass, the best way to do so is by using code KDOG in the Fortnite item shop. All right, let's start this video off with all of the brand new medallions. So we have 4 brand new POIs, 3 brand new medallions, and then a lot of the POIs are also just completely redone. So here's where all of the brand new medallions are at and also what they do. So at the brand new Hive POI, it has a mythic enhanced wrecked revolver and the surge medallion. Now the surge medallion gives you increased movement speed and gives a burst of speed when sliding as well. Now if I had to rank these medallions, I would probably have to say that this is the worst medallion out of the 3. It's not even necessarily like bad though. I think the other 2 are just more useful. The best medallion for trios is definitely going to be at Ranger's Ruin. This POI has a mythical tactical shotgun and the Carpress medallion, which is going to give you 50 health when you eliminate an opponent, so Siphon, and then passively gives you 3 shield per second up to 50 shield. So I'm assuming in competitive you're going to be getting double Siphon when you eliminate somebody with this, but it doesn't look like you're going to be getting shield health. But this thing is going to be amazing in clutch situations in the end games, especially if you are a solo trying to get a solo clutch and you're like in the storm. You'll literally instantly get 100 white HP. But this is pretty much just like every other shield coin that we have had throughout these seasons, and this one to me is definitely the best medallion for trios, because as we know, with these shield coins you can drop it between your teammates, trade surge with it. It's just super useful all around. And then the one that I would have to say is probably the second best medallion is at Demon's Domain, and there you get the new mythic OXR assault rifle and the spring leg medallion, which this spring leg medallion is very similar to the medallion that you got from the island last season, because it gives you the ability to double jump and you also don't take fall damage with it as well. So instead of it like turning you invisible, now you can double jump. I'm expecting there to be some really cool plays we get to see out of this medallion, especially when solo tournaments come back. But the fall damage immunity is always going to be useful for whoever is able to get this on high ground, because that one player can pretty much just drop down and go for refreshes a lot. Or sorry, it's not called Demon's Domain anymore, it is now Demon's Debris, and the trio that is landing there is Aegis, Acorn, and Poyo. And if you watch Grand Finals, you know this is a high ground oriented team. And so imagine this team on high ground with this medallion that you're going to be able to double jump up with and then drop down and take no fall damage. This medallion is perfect for this team's playstyle, I feel like. All right, now here is our first look at the FNCS Global Championships map. 33 out of 33 teams are marked on it, as you can see right there. The first thing that I want to say about this map is there is so much loot on it. Like the loadouts that pros are getting in the end games on this map are going to be absolutely insane. Also, the brand new super launch pads with the Fizzberry are also some of the most just broken things I have ever seen for rotation. But as you can see, we already have a lot of teams contested. Let's start off with all of the teams that are currently uncon though, and obviously this map is still subject to change. We have like 3+ weeks until global starts. Obviously some of these teams are going to be moving throughout the season, but starting off in the top left, we do have Muzz, Shadow, and Sphinx at an uncon resistance base. So Mr. Savage's trio has officially left the resistance space, and they are now going to a brand new POI that we will talk about in a little bit. Rise, Yuma, and Koyota are going to be getting this new like flooded frog split. I wouldn't necessarily say this is like the best POI on the map, but it's definitely not the worst either. Snowy Sad and Rue probably have one of the current worst spots on the map. If you guys don't recognize this team, this is a Middle Eastern team that has gotten 2nd, 5th, and 6th in the Middle Eastern FNCS Grand Finals. And then one of our first off spawn fights is going to be at the first order base between Focus, Mixon, and Upple, and Reet, Cooper, and Curly. So Reet Trio has decided to leave Flooded Frogs, and then Mixon Trio also decided to leave Shogun to now go to the first order base. I wouldn't necessarily say this POI is like anything too special. Focus, Mixon, and Upple's trio looked very good in the resistance base off spawn fights that they have had, and then Reet, Cooper, and Curly I'm pretty sure have been unconned ever since they formed together, so I really haven't got to see too much of their off spawn fighting ability quite yet. So right now I'm leaning a little bit more towards Mixon's trio for this off spawn fight, but obviously both these teams are going to be fully prepping, practicing so many off spawn fights, and this could really go either way. That's one of the things that you could either say kind of sucks about globals, but I mean, hey, maybe you like it, is we're not going to get to see these teams fight off spawn at all this season until the global championships actually start, so they're not going to know how each other play at all, and we're not going to get a real grasp on which team is actually better off spawn until we see them fight at globals. Alright, now rare sight to see, we do have an OCE team of Vortex, Mountain, and Goofy fully uncon at the global championships, and then right under them we have an NA West team fully unconned, but the POI that I want to talk about is right here for Swizzy, Queasy, and Murstache. Alright, so we do this every single season as well in these drop spot videos. We go over the current top 5 POI rankings. So in 5th place he has Foxy Floodgate. I think Foxy is like the only POI on this list that's not like an S or S plus drop spot, because the Hive is absolutely amazing. The loot that you get there and the rotation that you get out of there as well is just so good and so useful as well. I am also stuck on deciding where I'm going to put this drop, because it could be as high as like 2, but I think it could also be as low as 4 as he has it right here. Demon's Debris also super good, as we talked about earlier. You get the double jump coin and a mythic as well, and then the OXR HQ is going to be heavily contested, which we'll talk about in a little bit, and then Ranger's Ruin seems to be the consensus #1 drop spot on the map, just because also you have so much rotation out of the POI with these super launch pads that you can do with the Fizz. It has the most chests on the map, and you get the shield coin as well. This, as of day 1 of the brand new season, is 100% the best POI on the map. Alright, so now that we have a little bit more map knowledge, you can see that Swizzy, Queasy, and Murstache being fully uncontested is so good for this trio. I think they 100% have to be one of the main contenders right now to win this FNCS Global Championships. Next to them, we have Phaser King and PH Zen at a fully uncontested Supernova Academy. If you're wondering why in the world did every single pro leave Supernova Academy, I'm not gonna lie, this drop spot is nowhere near what it used to be. The 3 mythic chests are gone from it. A lot of the buildings have just been removed as well. This POI is honestly not that good, and then next to it, pump power isn't even a thing anymore, so I wouldn't be too surprised if Phaser King and PHN try to claim both of these spots potentially right here, but I also don't know what like Valor, Adapter, and Mansour are going to do as well. But then one of our first big off spawn fights at the OXR HQ is we have Vico, Vino, and Flixie versus Venya, Pixie, and Marius versus Clix, Iamzo, and Higgs. Now if you're wondering who claimed this drop spot first, Flixie literally claimed this spot before the brand new season even started. Literally yesterday, he said here for globals at the OXR HQ, and then next up we got a tweet from Venya at 7:15 a.m. that said globals 2025 also going the OXR HQ. Vico said, let's go bro, this globals is gonna be fun for us, and then Raz, who is Vico, Vino, and Flixie's coach, basically just said bring it to them. And then 4 minutes after Venya tweeted this out, Iamzo said OXR HQ for the global championships with Clix and Iamzo. Clix even responded with just a picture of his bank account. Now, who am I actually currently leaning towards for this off spawn fight? I honestly don't really know. Vino, Vico, and Flixie's off spawn rep hasn't necessarily been the highest, but they are still all 3 insane fighters, and I think they should still do very well off spawn here. Venya, Pixie, and Marius, I think I would have to say is the weakest off spawn fighting team here. And then Clix, Iamzo, and Higgs are also kind of just more on that good side of off spawn fighters. They're not like great, they're not mid, they're not bad, they're just good off spawn fighters. I think when you get in situations of being triple contested, it's really hard to predict who is going to win, because at the end of the day, pretty much all of them just lose, especially when Rapid, Kanata, and Bolts are literally landing on the mountain directly next to you with this POI right here. It's going to be free third parties, free potential cleanup eliminations for this trio as well. Rapid, Kanata, and Bolts aren't necessarily at the best POI for this season, but they are in a very good position for potential free Elim and Surge. At the bridge split, we have iDrop Hari and Cammy looking like they're going to get it fully uncontested. This is going to be huge for Cammy, especially at LAN. I still have no clue where I actually want to predict this trio and how good I think they're going to do, but in the last grand finals, when they had this spot fully uncontested, or when they were able to win off spawn from here, they look so good, so I'm very excited to see what they can cook up. We have a Japanese trio of Reito, Razzle, and Tay, sorry if I'm mispronouncing his name, versus Victor V, Epicwell, and Paper, a West trio at Utopia City. Now, I honestly have zero clue how this off spawn fight is gonna go. Epicwell has honestly looked very solid off spawn recently, but I won't lie to you guys, I don't really know too much about Reito's trio, and not just how good they are off spawn, but just how good they are in general. Down here in the bottom right, we have Baka, Pars, and Pump versus Tinka, Kazi, and Aspect, an OCE trio versus a West trio. At the Kappa Kappa factory, Pickstorm and Demas have a fully uncontested rainbow split. I am honestly very high on this trio going into globals. In the seasons that they are fully uncontested in a grand finals, they've gotten 5th 5th place, 3rd place, and now that looks like they might get a fully uncon split at the LAN event as well. And this is honestly a very good split too. They have a team contested to the right of them, a team contested above them. They can trade with Pollo's trio over there, who we'll talk about. They can trade with Pingwox and Malibuca. If they are able to get over the LAN nerves, this could really be a potential top 5 trio at this globals. And then like I was saying, Pingwox and Malibuca have a fully uncontested outpost enclave. And they're just pretty mid-tier drop spot. I highly doubt that they're going to be able to get all of this loot though. They're literally getting a full like potential split under here, all of outpost and this right here. And then in one of the biggest splits of the map, we have Seti, Yapko, and Panzer getting the entire south side of the map basically fully uncontested. If you're wondering why this is, one, not just because the south side of the map really isn't that crazy good for loot, but also just rotations wise. You're in one of the most difficult spots to IGL out of, and if they want to have a good globals performance, a lot of it is going to be affected by how good their zone luck is actually going to be. Because if we are just getting a bunch of north zones, it could be full cooked for them. They're going to get held by trios like Aegis, Acorn, and Pollo, all of these other teams down here, and then they're also just going to have to rotate max. It's probably one of the worst spots on the map positioning wise. Alright, so literally as I was recording this, Seti, Yapko, and Panzer have already left this split down here, and they are now going to be contesting this little split right here. Yapko literally said you only get like 5 chests from there. That spot is just absolutely horrible. And now this split at the bottom of the map is going to be fully uncontested at the global championships once again, and it is free for any team to claim it. And then like I said earlier, Aegis, Acorn, and Pollo fully uncontested at Demon's Debris, still a very good drop spot, top 3 spot on the map, and for arguably one of, if not the best trios in the world, this is 100% another trio that is instantly going into that contender category for FNCS. We have FKS's trio landing right next to them at the mountain split, Visuals, Braze, and Diminish getting a fully uncontested Foxy Floodgate. They have seemed to just lock down this drop spot for the past like 3 seasons now. They're probably one of the most experienced teams out of their drop spot, and they still have their NA brothers right here that they have been trading with in Aegis, Acorn, and Pollo. I think this trio has the potential to be like a sneaky top 7 team at globals. Unfortunately, we knew he had to be contested eventually. Chat, Mr. Savage, and Rezon are going to be contested by Striker, Tisco, and Kadu. Now, this is actually the Brazil FNCS winners that they are fighting at Canyon Crossing here. I think Canyon Crossing, from everything I've seen though, looks like it definitely has been buffed this season. I wouldn't say it's like one of the best drop spawns on the map, but it's definitely a lot more reliable than it has been in seasons past. And I have to admit that Mr. Savage, Chap, and Rezon's off-spawn rep is probably not super crazy right now, but this is exactly what I wanted them to do. Just claim a mid-tier POI, practice a bunch of off-spawn fights from there, and obviously there is still the potential that this team that is contesting them leaves the drop spot, as like I said earlier, there's still over 3 weeks until global starts. But if they are actually going to be contested off spawn, they are almost in peak third-party potential from a bunch of different trios around them. Then we have another one of our Asia teams of Murem Wixie, and then I honestly am not even going to try to pronounce that guy's name right there. But they are currently fully unconned at Shogun, Resides, Alex, and Anon fully uncontested, so another one of our OCE teams also fully uncontested. And then the big one that I have been saving till the end of this video, as you can see right here, let me zoom in on it, get it perfectly zoomed in, at the best drop spot on the map. Both the teams said that they were going to go there. We have Chino, Pablo, and Ferdoxy versus Chris, Tayson, and Chicho versus Ritual, Cold, and Peterbot. So the thing that I have honestly been hyping up since like the end of season 2, when Ferdoxy said he's going the best drop spot at globals, looks like it is going to be happening at the best POI on the map of Rangers Ruin. We are going to get a Peterbot versus Ferdoxy at LAN. And then also, as of right now, it looks like Chris, Tayson, and Chicho don't really want to leave. Chicho tweeted out, "It's time to save the world," in response to Tayson's tweet about going Rangers Ruin. I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to say I'm super confident in Chris, Tayson, and Chicho's off-spawn fighting ability. They didn't necessarily look too bad the season that they fought Sky Scroll and iDrop off-spawn, but this is a whole different beast they're dealing with here. They're dealing with probably the best off-spawn fighting team in Chino, Pablo, and Ferdoxy, and then probably a top 3 or 4 off-spawn fighting team in Ritual, Cold, and Peter. If this spot is actually going to be triple contested, I don't really have high hopes for any of these teams for potentially winning globals. If it is single contested, however, who do I actually think is going to win this off-spawn fight? Like I said, triple contests are almost impossible to predict. Let's live in a world of hypotheticals though, and let's say Chris, Tayson, and Chicho end up leaving the drop spot and we just get the Ferdoxy versus Peterbot 3v3. Who do I think wins that off-spawn fight? I have to lean a little bit more towards Ferdoxy right now, but like I'm saying, that is just just a little bit. I don't think Ritual, Cold, and Peterbot are as bad at fighting off spawn as a lot of people make them out to be. When we look at what the off spawn situation for them was last season, they were pretty much just 50-50ing every single time. Of course, day one of the season, I don't 100% know how this off spawn fight is actually gonna go, but if it is a off spawn that they can all three loot up and then just take a straight on 3v3, there is not very many teams that I would pick to win a 3v3 fight other than a team that has both Peterbot and Cold on it. This is definitely the off spawn situation that is going to get talked about the most though, probably Clix versus Vino as well. I also wish Tayson went somewhere else because Chicho is one of the best LAN players in Fortnite, getting back-to-back third places, and then Tayson is just one of those players that when we talk about the all-time GOAT debate, the main thing that always holds him back is having a good LAN placement, and if he is going to be triple contested by two of the potential other best off-spawn fighting teams in the world, I don't really see a scenario where he gets a good LAN placement out of that. Other than that though, here's a fully zoomed out look at the map. Once again, remember, things are still subject to change. I would not be surprised if this map even completely changes by like tomorrow in the Eval Cup. Remember though, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, as we try our best to upload daily competitive content for you guys. Let me know who your guys' current favorites are for the global championships. Please use code KDOG in the Fortnite item shop if you guys want to support me even more, especially when buying the brand new season's battle pass. YouTube says enjoy one of these two videos up on the screen right now, so go check them out if you guys haven't already. Thank God for another day, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.